Let's take a look at some of the outfits that you can create applying your shoulder dart. Now take a look at this outfit. This was done using the shoulder dart. Okay, so I saw these pictures on Pinterest and I was like, yes, this is good. Thank God I'm seeing this. I need to share this with my audience so that they can see that once you have the knowledge of how to apply your shoulder dart on your basic pattern, there is nothing that you cannot create. Okay, so these are just some of the fews. There are a lot of styles that you can create applying your shoulder dart to it to get the perfect fitting that you want. Okay. Anyways, this is the continuation of the sewing version from all the patterns that we have created. The three patterns that we have created. I have done the first sewing version, which is the bust and the waist dart sewing, and for this video we are doing the shoulder dart. As you can see, my arrow is pointing on the shoulder dart, so we're going to be cutting our pattern and sewing it. Okay, so go grab your pattern, the third pattern drafting for shoulder dart, basic pattern for shoulder dart. Grab that pattern and let's go ahead. Now the first thing we want to do here is we're going to be separating this pattern by cutting out the dart. Okay, so I'm going to be cutting out the waist darts, and that is going to cause the effect of separating the pattern. As you can see here, my pattern is separated. Okay, now let me cut out the waist dart totally. So this is the waist dart, and if you watched how we created this pattern, you understand what is happening. This is the continuation. After creating the pattern, we're going to see if this is going to give us the results that we want. Okay, so this is how it's going to look when we sew. Now let's go ahead and cut this on the fabric. Now if you have seen the pattern drafting, I kept screaming on all the pattern drafting that we always draft one side of the pattern, because when we're cutting, we go ahead to fold the fabric into two. Okay, so we can get the two sides. So my fabric here is folded into two, and I'm just going to cut the center front. To cut the center front, I'm going to place the center front on the close edge here, but before then I need to iron so I get a flat surface on my fabric. Okay, so I'm going to iron. Do this step with me. Okay, this is practical, so let's practicalize everything that I have been saying, or everything that we have been saying. Okay, let's practicalize it. So this is me placing my center front pattern on the close edge, and I'm going to pin this. Make sure your center front sits on the close edge, because we're cutting two pieces, like two sides, and the center front is supposed to be on the close edge. Okay, and now what I'm doing is I'm adding half an inch on the dart side. Okay, where we created the dart and cut out the pattern from, we're going to be adding half an inch because we're going to be joining this to the side pattern. Okay, so this is 0.5, and that's the allowance we're adding. So I'm doing this freehand because I know what 0.5 looks like. Okay, so yeah, and I know my chalk is obvious, so you can see me adding like 0.5 to the actual measurement. And now I'm going to go ahead and cut this. Okay, and like I said, this is the center front and it is in close edge. Okay, so when I'm done cutting, I'm going to open this up so we see what we're working with, and you make sure that what I'm having here on my cutting table is the same thing you have on your cutting table. Okay, so let's take off the pins. Charlie, take off your pins. And when I open this up, see what I'm saying. So this is my center front, and you can see the middle line, and you can see the neck. Okay, so we drafted for one side, and we place the fabric on fold so we can get the two side, which is the left and the right. Okay, so this is the middle line, and this is the left, and this is the right. Now I'll do the same thing. I'm going to fold my fabric into two because I need to cut the side pattern, and I need it to be two piece. Okay, it has to be two piece so I can join to the left side and the right side of the center front. Okay, I'm just confirming is the fabric here is going to be enough, and now I have to press. Now I said this on the first sewing version that pressing your fabric, like ironing your fabric to get a flat surface, is the first step into getting a clean sewing, a perfect sewing. Okay, so always press. If you don't have lights, like if you're in Nigeria or Africa, if you don't have lights, use your charcoal iron. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm placing my side pattern on the fabric, the folded fabric, and I'm pinning this down. Now I'll make sure I have allowance in the side where I have the darts, because I need to add half an inch for sewing. Okay, so I'm going to add the half an inch, and this is the side I'm adding it to, because you remember that we are joining this to the center front. So the half an inch we added on the center front, we need to add to the side pattern, the side front, because we are joining that side together and we need the allowance. Okay, so I have my 0.5, and now I'm going to go ahead and cut. If you are a beginner doing this practical way, and when I mean beginner, like the real beginner, the starters pack beginner, please take your time. I advise you to take your time to really understand this whole process, and I want to believe that you can do it. Okay, I want to believe that the knowledge that I am providing for you is like the basic foundation that you need, and you can do it. You can understand every process by yourself just watching my videos. Okay, just try to pay attention to all the process. It's very easy. So yeah, this is it. I'm going to take off my pins and let's see what we have. So like I said, I folded the fabric into two, so I'm definitely going to have two pieces. Okay, so this is two, and one is for the left and the other one is for the right side of the body. Okay, so let me bring the center front and place in between this, because that is how it's going to sit when we're sewing. So this is how it's going to look. Okay, so see the center front and see the two side pieces, each on the side where it is supposed to sit. And now I hope you get it. Okay, and now I hope this haul makes sense. Let's go ahead and cut out the back pattern just the same way we did for the front. That's the same thing we're going to be doing for the back. We're going to separate the pattern. Okay, so this is the back pattern, and we're going to separate by cutting out the dart, and the dart we're cutting out here is the waist dart, but we have a line already on the shoulder, so we'll just follow that line. Okay, if you created this pattern with me, you will know why we have this line on the shoulder, because the shoulder darts. Okay, so yeah, you will know why, and you will cut the same way I'm cutting. So this is what we're going to have when we cut this on the fabric. Okay, so what I did was I went ahead to fold my fabric into two. I placed the pattern and I added the allowance where I needed to add it. Here, half an inch, and the center back half an inch. And I'm just going to cut. Okay, because I don't want to waste your time. Just the same way we did for the front, where we placed this on the folded fabric and we added half an inch on the side where we have the darts, because of the joining of the center back to the side back. That's what we are having here. Okay, what we did on the front, so that's the same thing we're doing on the back. You can see the line I'm cutting through, the half an inch added for sewing allowance. That if you ever added that, or you ever separated your pattern pieces and you need to join them back together, you need to add half an inch for joining. Okay, even if it's that, or you just separated it because of some, whatever it is, just make sure you have allowance for joining. Okay, so it makes sense to add allowance for joining. Okay, so this is the side back, and I'm just cutting. I can see that I have my half an inch. I didn't add allowance on the side of my patterns because it already has like 1 inch allowance. If you watched where I was drafting out the pattern, you will know that this pattern comes with like 1 inch on the side, both on the front and on the back. Okay, so yeah. Okay, so this is my center back and my side back, and let's sew these pieces together. Now, if you've gotten to this point, everything should have been making sense to you. Okay, you should now know what we're doing, and let me show you guys how to join your pattern, or let's practice how to join our patterns together, because I am practicing. Okay, so practice make perfect. Now this is my center front. I'm just going to open it up. okay, and then I'm going to grab my side front, okay. So this is my side front, and remember there are two pieces, left and right. So I'm just going to grab the side that sits on the side is supposed to sit, if you get, and I will sew by 1/2 inch because that's the allowance I left while I was cutting on the fabric, okay. Remember we left the allowance together. So I'm going to place, this is the left, I guess, or the right, okay. So I'm going to place the right side pattern or side piece on the center front and sew by 1/2 inch. So we're sewing from the shoulder down to the length, and we're sewing by 1/2 inch, okay. So watch what I'm doing. This is how you join your pieces together, okay. Your pieces, whichever, this is how you join it together. Now I am so grateful I actually did this practice, because trust me, at this point I feel like I can do like a collection of outfits, and I will know what to do. Like I'll know how to, get the fitting, get everything that I want on the collection. Like I feel like I could just do anything right now, because practicing this that actually opened up my understanding about pattern drafting, and now I feel like I can do whatever I want to do, okay. I can't even wait to practice the other darts, because like I said on the other video, like the first part, I said that these are not the only darts available. Like there's the armhole dart, there is the neckline dart, there is a French dart or a French cuff dart, something, but I can't wait to practice them, okay. I want to get very used to my pattern drafting, because I feel like from there is nothing I cannot achieve, okay. From my pattern drafting and applying that, I could move to draping, and this just become like a fully self-taught designer that can create whatever she want to create without shaking. Okay, so once I was done joining the sides to the center front, this is what I have, okay. So I'm just telling you guys here, you need to iron, okay. So but before then, let's sew the back pieces together, okay. So this is my center back. You can see the zip allowance. Zip allowance sits on the center back. So I'm going to grab my side back. Your center back should be in 2 pieces. Your side back should be in 2 pieces, because we have the left side and the right side. Now, this teach yourself playlist is actually really teach yourself playlist, because like I keep explaining everything the way I know it, or the way I am learning it, because I want us to have like the same level of knowledge, so that when we start creating and we start doing things, like I just carry you guys along and you guys know what I'm doing, you know what's up, okay. So really pay attention to the teach yourself playlist, okay. I'm just taking off my pins from the side pattern and the center pattern, and I'm going to join, okay. So this is how it goes. This side sits on this center back, and I'm going to sew by 1/2 inch. Why? Because I left 1/2 inch as the sewing allowance, okay. So I'm going to sew by the allowance I left. That is how it goes, okay. You cannot leave 1/2 inch allowance and be sewing in 1 inch allowance. Auntie, where are you getting the 1 inch from? Who dash you 1 inch? Okay, so whatever allowance you leave, sew that allowance in when you're sewing, okay. Unless what you're going for is not a fitted outfit, and that is the only way you don't do this, okay. That's the only way you don't sew by the allowance you left, if it's not fitted. So I was done with the other side, and now I'm sewing the left side, and I'm going to sew the same way by 1/2 inch, and then we're going to go ahead and press. Okay, so this is me pressing, and to press this is the front piece. I'm going to notch, okay. Where I sewed my dart, I have to notch, okay, so it sits really flat, and like there is no disturbance, there is no kukere or anything. I'm gonna notch. So I would advise you to do this, okay. You should know why you notch before you iron on any curvy area that you have sewn, okay. So yeah, notching is big. Don't mind me, but yeah, notching is really important, okay. When you're making collars, curves, so things that have curves, just notch, okay, so it sits well. So I'm gonna go ahead and iron, and you can see the way I'm doing it. I'm taking my time. Now, why ironing? I was meant to even start using my tailor's ham. It is actually important to use your tailor's ham to iron curvy areas so that you get that curve that you're looking for. That is why you apply the dart. Okay, so grab your tailor's ham, because I was supposed to do that right now, but I'm going to still do that. I'll show you guys how to use your tailor's ham to iron. Okay, so yeah. Now this is the tailor's hem, and I have a video where I created this one. This is the locally made tailor's hem. Okay, so it is not hard to make. Sister, brother, if you're watching this video, you can make it. Okay, I am saying this, you can make it. Okay, so just go make one. If you don't have, make your local tailor's hem and then iron this the same way I am ironing. Okay, now tailor's hem, you don't need to be a professional tailor to be able to make it. Okay, anybody can make it, tailor or no tailor, beginner or no beginner, you can make a tailor's hem with the video I created, like a very simple detailed video. Now this is the back piece. I'm going to do the same thing I did for the front. I'm going to notch before I iron. Like I said, it is always necessary for you to iron curvy areas, or that areas. Just notch, sister. It's not going to take anything from you. Notch your dart or notch your sewing. Notchy. Okay, so once I was done with the ironing, I didn't want to bore you with all that. This is the back piece. There are two pieces, left and right. I'm just going to sew this to the front. Okay, so we're going to attach the back to the front, and we're going to be sewing by the allowance that we have left. Okay, so on the shoulder I left 1/2 inch, on the side I left 1 inch. Okay, so this is what I was telling you. See the side, I have 1 inch on the pattern. So if you created this pattern with me, you know this 1 inch. So I'm going to be sewing in by 1 inch because that's the allowance left on the side. Okay, sister, don't be confused or don't ask me questions like, where did you get the allowance for? Go and watch the pattern drafting, okay, to catch up. Go. Anyways, I'm joining the other side of the back to the front, and I'm going to sew by the same 1 inch because that's the allowance I left. Okay, and you guys, I'm going to go ahead and sew the shoulder by 1/2 inch because I left the allowance when I was drafting, and that is it. Okay, this is how you sew your shoulder dart pieces together. Like I said, I am so grateful and I am so happy that I was able to practice this shoulder dart application, because now, sis, I have more knowledge and understanding about this dart. Okay, and I can't wait to practice the neckline dart, the armhole dart. And but the next video that's going to be coming is a video on how to create a skirt pattern applying your dart. Okay, a very detailed video. If you have been following the series, the next that is coming is skirt. Okay, from skirts we go to dress. See, we're going to graduate to a lot and we're going to be carrying ourselves along. Okay, so thank you for watching. I hope you love this video and I hope you give this video a thumbs up. Now this is what I look like after I was done sewing everything together. Now remember, I did not attach a zip to this, and that is why it is not snatching the way it's supposed to snatch. But anyways, it is still giving, and now I know that this dart is available for me to use to create my dress, my jumpsuit, whatever I want to create. Now I know this and I'm appreciative of the knowledge. Okay, so let me know how your own practice, the outcome, what the result is, and if you have any question or any confusion, your girl is here waiting for it. Okay, just comment on the comment section. I can't wait to read it and give you your reply. But anyway, still, I love you guys so much. I appreciate you watching from the beginning to the end. I'll be seeing you on my next video. I love you guys again. Love and light. Bye bye.